We're back. The headless YouTuber and her trusty Pug Pudge, who I am going to kick out of the room right now because there's a lot going on. We are in California, and when he is overly hyped, his little pug breathing gets a little bit more labored, right, my love? So we're gonna kick you out, but I just wanted to include him in this intro really quick. Okay, so I am back. Like I said, I'm in California. I am gonna try and make this video as quick as I can just because I don't really like filming while I'm here because I feel like it just takes away time that I could be spending with my family, which is the reason why I come out here. Also, my dad is playing a video game that I really, really want to watch. It's The Evil Within 2. I played the first one like a million times, and I'm very anxious to see how the second one is, so I do want to catch him while he's playing that. Where we're gonna start is I'm going to rewind and take you back to October, to when we moved the plant room around a little bit. I'm gonna fast forward everything. I just want to show you like kind of the process of setting up the plant room. Then I will jump back into real time, and before I give you like a thorough look at her plants, I'll just show you around and show you what it looks like now. Alright guys, so just try and bear with me here. I forgot the handle grip thing that I use for my camera, so it might be even more shaky than it usually is, but I just wanted to give you a before shot of what it looks like. This is a south facing window, and you guys should see this light during the morning and at sunset. It's beautiful in here. So these two walls will get the most light. She put the plant shelf here for now, but I definitely don't want to leave it there. I think that I'm gonna do like the plant feature wall here and in this corner and kind of do like an L-shaped sort of thing. And then I think this wall is going to be where her craft area is gonna be, and I'm gonna do something up in this corner. The reason that I want to do the plant shelf on this wall is because, one, this is the first thing that you see when you walk in from the door, and then also you get a lot of this sort of bright indirect light. I'm gonna be putting grow lights on every shelf, so I'm not worried about a lack of light, to be honest. So hopefully everything works out dimension wise here, and then I'm gonna move this white table onto this wall because it should fit perfectly. And as far as this wall, I think, I'm not really sure yet. I really wanted to put the EXO next to the plant shelf. I'm just not 100% sure if it's gonna work out. I think that I might end up just using this double Vitjo next to the EXO and then use the single black Vitjo shelf somewhere else. Honestly, she doesn't have a ton of plants. Like, this truly is about all that she has left. She's got some around the house, but I don't think that she needs all of this shelving plus this EXO for her plants. Hopefully I can get this done in a day, and we'll see how far I get. Just a forewarning before we get started, I did lose my hand grip for my camera, so it's gonna be a little bit shaky. I'll try and keep it as stable as possible, but it's not gonna be the best. And I was going to just sit my butt in this chair and bring all the plants over, but I think what I'm gonna do is just take you around and show you the plants because it'll be a little bit faster that way. But before I get started, I wanna show you guys this pretty kitty. This is Jupiter. This is who I have tattooed on my arm. The quick story about Jupiter is she truly is the sweetest little cat. So there was a time where I was kind of going through a bad little hole. I had a bad rough patch, and I told my mom, I said, I just want to go to the shelter and just look at the animals and play with them and maybe walk some dogs, just get my mind off things. So Jupiter, she was there. Look at her. She was at the shelter at the time, and she was so tiny. I thought she was a kitten, but she was 6 years old when I saw her at the shelter. And every time I would walk by her little kennel, she would like put her paw under the door and just like try and get my attention. She wasn't doing it to any other people that were like at the shelter that time. It was literally just me. She wasn't even doing it to my mom when she was walking through. So I said, like, I just want to look at this cat, and now here we are, fast forward a couple years. She did live with me for a while, but I just figure after our family dog passed, my mom, she was just really sad. Yeah, she loves Jupiter so much, so I thought that she would be better with my mom, so that she had more room to play, she gets more attention, and Pudge won't be bothering her. So anywho, this is Jupiter. Oh, and she's toothless. A quick look around the room. This window right here is a large south-facing window. You guys should see this room when it is sunny. I think maybe some of the footage I took back in October showed a sunny day, but it is amazing. So over by the window, she's got this big olive tree that she's been growing inside for the winter. I do think she's planning on putting it outside in the summer. We just bought her this red stick cabinet last week, and she's just got a few little lights in here on each level. I will take you in depth and show you some of the plants in there. As I mentioned, this is her craft area / work area. She works from home like 2 or 3 days a week or something, so she did need a little space for work. So this is where she works, but she does have some plants. She has some drawings that my future brother-in-law, so my sister's boyfriend, he drew these. He is amazing, and I will try and remember to show you the print that he just made me for Christmas. Over here we have her TV. We weren't gonna put a TV in here, but I told her, like, I don't know, I just feel like a TV changes the mood of a room, especially if you're doing plant stuff or whatever. It's just nice to have something playing in the background. This table used to be mine. This was, I think it was a table that came from Macy's or something down in the Bay Area. It was like a table for anthropology, and I had it shipped over to Sacramento, and I used it for my business for a while. I used to have a swimwear business, and it just really came in handy. So I'm glad my mom kept this because she can fit all her craft stuff in here. And then she works up here. She added this mirror and some shelving up here. My mom is really into photography. She takes beautiful photos, so she has some of her vintage cameras up there. Going around this side of the room, I'm not going to show you in the closet, but this closet goes all the way in here. So she has just all storage for plant stuff, her craft stuff, and it's a pretty great closet space. From the old video, you would have seen that this shelf was behind me, but she moved it here when she got her Redsta, and I actually quite like it here. She does have an EXO here. This one is a 36-24-18, if I had to take a guess. And then she's got her, I think this is the Vitsjo IKEA unit, where she has a lot of her props down here, and then just some of the random plants she's growing. And then she added a shelf up there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll just take you in a little circle. It's her little happy place. I would love to have a space like this someday. As you guys know, my plant room doesn't have any windows or anything, so it does get a little bit stuffy in there if I'm in there for too long, but If I had a nice big open window like this, I could just stay in here forever. So anyway, I think Jupiter wants to go out. You wanna go out, bud? Go ahead. Weirdo. All right, so now that I've shown you around, I'm going to just take you around and show you the plants. I think I will let's start on this side of the room. Over here, we have the Redsta cabinet. She was gonna get the Millsbow tall, but I convinced her to get the Redsta, and she's actually really happy with it. So on top of the Redsta, I want this so bad. I'm gonna see if she'll let me take home this vessel because it is beautiful. I have no idea where she got it, but this is actually a cutting from her mother plant that is out in the kitchen or like dining area, and hopefully I have time to show you that space later. But yeah, that's cuttings from that plant. This is a Rhipsalis salicornioids that I propagated and gave her actually not too long ago, and it was not this big. You guys, it is growing so fast in her conditions. Like, all of this is brand new. It was way smaller when I gave it to her, but yeah, she has been loving this plant. I'm glad I was able to give her a piece of that. Going into the Redsta cabinet, over here we have a Three Kings Syngonium. I think that's what it's called. Syngonium Three Kings. I don't know what comes first, but this was actually a prop from a plant that Nick gave me, and it's funny because the one that I had died, but the one that I gave my mom is doing fine. So at least one of ours lived. She just has it in a literal cup with moss. It's doing fine. It's so dark over here. I actually don't know what this is, but I know I gave it to her. I guess we'll find out as it matures. But again, this one is in no drainage. I love this pot too. She just has some leca and moss. My mom loves the parfait method, and it's been working really well for her. Over here we have a, Monstera stanleyana. This one does have drainage holes, very algae ridden, but doing just fine. Where did that leca go? Okay, well, it's gone. I don't know what this one is. I want to say it's like a Crimson Princess, Hoya Crimson Pink something. I did give her this one. This is a Philodendron Dark Lord. It was I think it was only these two leaves when I gave it to her, so she would have grown 3 of those in her care. This one is in Straight Pond. There's so much algae, it's like black and a little, oh wait, is this soil? Oh, it's soil. Okay, so we've got leca and soil, and I can see that she used a lot of myco in here. But again, doing well. This is another plant I gave her. This was a propagation that I didn't know I took, and I think it started off with these 2 leaves. This is a Philodendron mayoi, and she grew these 2 in her care, so you can kind of see the actual leaf shape taking shape now, which is exciting. This caterpillar looks like it's going to be nice and big. Down here we have a Ficus triangularis albovariegata. This one I also gave to her. Mine is now in the afterlife, but of course Mom is growing it just fine. Again, no drainage holes, leca down at the bottom, and soil. And then, actually all of these are going without drainage holes. I love my mom so much. This one is a Mandula pothos, and she actually has a few of these growing around the house. This one's actually really, really beautiful. She recently got it on a pole. I can't tell if it's attaching yet, but you can see look at this little root starting to poke out, so it's doing its work. So yeah, Mandula pothos. This is her little avocado plant that she grew from a seed. I have never been able to do this successfully, but my little sister has, and so has she. This one is literally just in moss and leca. I think that this one may have had thrips, but I can't remember. She had a bit of a thrips outbreak recently, but look how cute this new leaf is. Moving right along, we have a Syngonium albo variegata. I think I gave this one to her too. It might have been a propagation from Nick. This one is in a parfait leca, perlite, and soil with a lot of leca mixed in. I feel like this one is definitely a slow grower for her. I can't remember if it only had one leaf when I gave it to her, or it was only a stick, but I do know that it didn't have this leaf on it, so I think this one grew in her care. This one is one of many Milanos that I gave her. I feel like every time I come here I give her a new Milano, so she kind of has Milanos growing all over the house, but it looks like this one is starting to take to the pole. I can see some of those roots poking out, and yeah, I mean, this one wasn't in the best condition. You can see it had a bit of thrips damage when I gave it to her, but I made sure that it was clear of thrips before I brought it. So it's still kind of in recovery mode. Doesn't look the best, but give it some time. Okay, so my camera's on its last leg, so I'm gonna try and take you through all of these plants before I have to recharge. So again, this is another plant I don't know the idea of. I will insert it obviously in the corner, but she has this one growing on a circle trellis. I don't know where she got this circle trellis. I thought maybe I gave her one from the Pup and Bud, but I think I've only ever had one, so she must have got it like on Amazon or something. But yeah, that one's really, really cute. She has a Marble Queen pothos. Maybe it's a, I think she might have separated some of these like more Snow Queen, I think that's what they call it, looking leaves. My understanding is they're the same plant. You're just able to isolate some of the variegation of it a little bit more, like this one, to get more of that white variegation. But I don't think that it's like a completely different species. I have no clue. Don't know, guys. I'm not a pro. Over here we have another Mandrula pothos. She's had a little bit of a gnat problem lately. I'm gonna see if we can run over to the garden store so that I can find her some like predatory mites, like soil mites, to eat some of that larva in the soil. But yeah, she was busy getting these moss poles done, and she's got a lot of plants climbing now. She's so cute. Over here in the corner is yet another propagation of her big monstera that I recently repotted out in the living room, and I don't want to take it out of here because it's pretty big and heavy, but it is fully rooted now. She actually ordered a hammock to go in this corner, and we were supposed to kind of have it mounted up there so that it like hangs and kind of like spans the corner of this room, but the hammock hasn't come in yet, so it just lives here for now, which isn't bad. It actually looks really good. This one is, I think this is a Hoya publicalis splash or something. I think I actually have one of these at home, which isn't growing, but yeah, whatever. And then in this corner is just a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. And then she has her two begonia, what is this? Begonia maculata whitey eyes here. I think I gave her both of these, and I've never actually seen people put it on a pole, but she said that the humidity from the moss pole has really helped new leaves unfurl in like lower humidity and lower warmth out in this corner. It looks like she's got both of these in leca down at the bottom, chunky mix, chunky soil mix, and then up top she's just layered it with orchid bark. All right, continuing on, we are gonna go over to this Vitzjo shelf. I'm gonna start at the bottom here. It looks like she's got a bunch of props going. This looks like it's like a, oh, maybe I need to take care of some of her plants. I feel like this is one of those like global something pothos. I don't really know. It's got like that very, very subtle green on green variegation. I don't think it's global green. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Can't remember, but hopefully I can give you an ID by the time this video goes up. These are just some of her props, I think from another monstera that she had. And then back here are just some random propagations. Looks like she hasn't really tended to these in a while. Back here is something, a Hoya obovata splash. I have actually never known what this is. If somebody knows what this ID could be, please let me know. Let me give you some better up close shots of it. I'll show you the petiole. It's a really, really cool plant though. She's had this one for a while, and I think my sister must have gotten it for her at some point, but never actually knew the idea of it. Back here is, I think this is one of her reverted Pink Princess cuttings. Like, she only had green leaves for so long, and then she finally got some pink. I will show you that one in a bit. I think it's up there. These are some Skindapsus Silver Cloud. It's so cute that they're all kind of just like facing upward towards the light. It's got like this kind of cute growth pattern going. This one is just in moss right now. I know that I showed this in a video before. It's a Attribution Nanook or something. I got this one from Vandula. She actually split it up into separate plants and gave some to my grandma. And then she's got some of that Attribution al something back there in the same pot. Up here are some random plants. I remember back at the old house she had these growing just in the windowsill, and it looks like she's kind of trimmed it back a bit because they were growing kind of cray-cray. I don't know what this is. I can't remember. We actually picked this up at a local greenhouse the last time I was in California. I have one at home. I don't know if I've ever shown it. This one is a Euphorbia trigona, and it's the one that's got like that burgundy color to it, whereas mine is just green. This is a Alocasia Black Velvet. This was one I gave her. This is a Philodendron Soderini. This one is a Euphorbia Lactea White Ghost. Looks like my mom is propagating some cacti down here. And then I don't want to take this off, but this is her Anthurium baroquianum that I brought for her. The old leaves are dying off. It does look like a new one is coming. You can barely see it, but it's in there. And then she's got another elbow stick. This one is some kind of jewel orchid. And then I don't actually know what she's got propagating in here, but it looks variegated. Let's see. I think this is a Monstera stanleyana propagation from my sister's large plant, but look how cool that variegation is down at the bottom right there. And then right here, super, super interesting. Her plant isn't doing the greatest right now. I did rehab it a few days ago, so hopefully it does a little bit better, but when it was doing really well, it had the most insane, beautiful variegation, so hopefully it makes a comeback. But good thing my mom was able to take some props. I don't actually know what's in here. I need to get one of these. Whoa, these are really cool. Nothing super duper exciting in here. Some of the Hoyas that I brought for her last time, it looks like she hasn't potted it up yet. Some Burley Marks Fantasies. I see a Varicosum down there. No clue what that is. She's got some Spanish moss here that is loving the warmth and humidity in her plant room. Look how healthy this is. My Spanish moss at home is just like brown. Okay, onto the third shelf. I brought this for her too. This is a Syngonium Pink Splash. Still has it in moss, just in a no drainage whole cup. I love the color of this pink. I love that it's not like a bright, bright pink. It's kind of like this muted pink. I think this one is a Philodendron pedatum, and I think it has spider mites. Yeah, you can see them right there. Luckily, my mom's got some really good insecticide, and I do think she uses systemic, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I can just off the bat see some webbing. This is one of the Begonia Tamayas that I gave my mom, and it is growing really, really well here at her house. The only type of humidity she has for these plants is this humidifier here, so nothing enclosed, and it is doing great. So my begonia is actually doing really well on my shelf. I mean, who knows what it looks like now, but yeah, this is growing beautifully. This is one of many string of hearts. I will show you her her big collection of them in just a bit, but yeah, these were over at a local greenhouse that we went to in October, and they were so cheap, and there was like a whole cart of them, so she like hauled them because she loves them so much. This is a Begonia Maculata Whitey that I brought from her, or that I brought for her. It's much bigger now. It's just in some leca and some really dense soil. Got a little Manjula cutting back there. This is the Begonia Sinbad that I brought for her last time, which is from Alice, and I actually think it's getting a little bit of sun stressing because This is not a brand new leaf. This one is brand new, and then that one is brand new under there, but this one's fully hardened off, and I think because it's right under the grow light, it's getting nice and sun stressed. And it looks like she's got some growth along the stem, which is exciting. It looks like her plant is gonna be really big in no time. This one is just in a cup, in moss, and look at all of those roots. Have fun repotting this, Mom. I actually don't know what this is. I didn't give this to her. She got it. I don't know where she got this, but it's really beautiful, and it's growing really well for her. See if I can go around the corner here. It's got these beautiful red abaxials, really, really silvery leaf blades, fun variegation on it, or fun texture on it. And then we have another begonia tamaya. I swear it was like half this size when I gave it to her, and now these things are just taking off. I love the growth pattern of these tamayas, the way they kind of just cascade down. Yeah, just amazing. So I actually don't know what this is. I mean, obviously it must be some sort of begonia maculata, but I don't know exactly which kind. You'll see that it sort of has a different leaf blade than the whitey eye. So I don't know what that is. I didn't give that one to her. This one is a Hoya linearis, and I think that this was a propagation from my sister's plant. And there's some new growth down here, and she just has this one in soil with drainage holes inside of a cover pot. I think I'm gonna need a stool. Let me grab a stool. I'm gonna have to get up here, and I am very short. I actually don't know what this one is. This one just says Hoya. I mean, obviously I knew it was a Hoya. I just don't know what kind. I'll have to check in with my friends before this video goes up. And then this is what I was talking about, her little farm of string of hearts. She has so many. I don't know if she plans to combine them later or if she's like growing them for people, but they are loving this spot here. And I've never really been a huge fan of these, to be honest, but if my mom wanted to give me a cutting, I would probably learn to love it just because it's from her. Oh, and there's another one back there. This is something, she has another bigger one outside in the living room. This is Mycolitiana maxkowskii. Actually, all of these are, and they're not doing very well. But, you know, kind of comes with the season. I find that my Mycolitianas don't do that well in the fall and winter either, but I'm pretty sure it'll come back. Like I mentioned, she's got a lot of mandrula growing all over the place. If you guys can't tell, she loves her mandrula. I think this was probably a propagation. It's growing in moss. Actually, it looks like a lot of propagations are over on this side. This one has a little bit of white in the petiole, so I'm thinking this might be a white knight propagation, maybe? I gave her that Hoya, couldn't even tell you what it is. She's got some peperomia, frick, I forgot what the name of that is. Some silver stripe or Rio propagations. Some silver splash propagations. That's kind of like propagation land on the left side here. So this one up here struggled a bit. This one is a philodendron mame. This is one plant, but it's got 2 freaking growth points, so I don't really know. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm not gonna take it down. She's got a Birkin up here. This leaf looks really, really white, but I think the other side is gonna be green. Sorry, the lighting is crap. She's got a Raffi back there. This is a Scindapsus. Let me take this down. This is huge. This is a Scindapsus Jade Satin, I think. But I can see a little bit of variegation on it. Interesting. You can see some of the thrips damage from when she had thrips. And then up here, she's got an Exotica. Some of these aren't doing great, but just keep in mind she did move to a new place, so a lot of these are kind of just adjusting to the new environment. But if you look at her substrate, it's actually doing really, really well. Peperomia Hope? Burley Marks, philodendron Burley Marks. Going into the EXO, I pretty much gave her all of these, if I can remember correctly. Let's start on the left side. So here we have a philodendron Burley Marks. Brought this back for her in October, and it was like down here, so I think all of these grew in her care. This is an Epipremnum pinnatum albo variegata. Syngonium Wenlandii. Oh. This is one of those rehab Milanos that I gave her. Alocasia Black Velvet, Alocasia cuprea, Anthurium crystallinum. I just gave this one to my mom. I think you would have seen it in a recent video where I propagated it. This is a Philodendron majestic. Another crystallinum, a Philodendron lupinum. I cannot grow these to save my life, and my mom just kind of stuck it in here inside a cup, and it's growing really well for her. A rehab Philodendron gigas. This is a Philodendron campospartoanum. I thought I saw a thrip. This is an Alocasia scalprum. Still kind of adjusting. This is one of her Monstera albos, and I don't see any growth happening on it yet, but I'm sure she'll get something to pop. This one is a jewel orchid. I think this is a Cebu blue. Kind of looks like a Cebu blue. I have honestly no idea what this is. I did give her this one, but I don't know what it is. This one is an Anthurium Ingamarcanum. Down here is a propagation of my Philodendron mexicanum. Doesn't quite have the lobes yet, but I mean, at least it's growing. Another Anthurium crystallinum. Can you tell my mom loves her crystallinums? And I think there's actually 2 plants in here. Oh, that one's not doing too well. But these ones are cute, nice and dark. This one is a Philodendron white knight or white wizard. I can never tell the difference between them. Truth be told, no clue what this is. And this one is a Epipremnum pinnatum albovariegata. Okay, the last plant I'm going to show you in here is an Alocasia cuprea, and this was the size of the leaves when I gave it to her. These two. And I've had my cuprea for, I want to say, a year now, and it's been steadily growing, but all of the leaves have kind of stayed this size. It's in my exo, I baby it, I give it the best fertilizer, and still it's sizing up so slowly. So keep in mind, when I brought this to her in October, this was the largest leaf. And this is the one that has grown in her care. Not fair! How the heck? Let's analyze this. She's got it in a parfait, so it's in leca, perlite, and some chunky soil, orchid bark up top. I'm sure she has used mycorrhizal inoculants, but honestly, everything my mom does substrate-wise, she pretty much learns from me, and so we are not doing anything much differently. My exo gets the same amount of light. It's actually more humid than this. It's 80% in here right now, but keep in mind the doors have been open. She does have a moss wall in here, but I mean, look at the size of this leaf. It's a monster. I think I got every single plant in her plant room. My family is actually out in the living room right now watching a new series, and I don't want to be filming while they're watching. So instead of talking you through the plants, I'm actually just going to take you around and just kind of show them to you. I'll throw up the name of the plant on the screen, and then I will meet you back in the plant room where I can talk again. Alright, so that is it for Mom's plants. It's actually getting dark now. It's such a gloomy day here in California. It was so nice on Christmas Eve. It was sunny, there's no rain, no clouds. It was just bright and it was amazing. And I was kind of hoping for more of that when I filmed this, but we are working with what we're given. I'm not really sure when I'll be back in Sacramento. I know I do have to come back in April for a wedding, but that's going to be in Southern California. I don't know if I'm going to be back here. But anywho, that's besides the point. I know that this video wasn't as thorough as my regular show and tells and my plant tours, but like I mentioned earlier, I was just really anxious to get back to my family, and I try and make it a point to really just spend time with them and not work too much while I'm here. I hope you enjoyed whatever I throw together. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out yet. But yeah, this was a highly requested video. A lot of people wanted to see what my mom's plants look like. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not sure when this video is going up yet, but I do know it's going up in the new year. So happy 2022. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for all the sweet comments. And I'll see you in the next one.